You've been told to hold your vision tight, to focus harder, grip your desire with all your strength, never let it slip from your mind. That advice sounds powerful. Yet here's the paradox. The tighter you cling, the further it seems to drift. You feel like you're doing everything right, repeating affirmations, visualizing every detail, fighting to stay positive, yet nothing moves. You wait, you push, you strain, but the universe stays silent. The truth no one talks about is this: manifestation does not arrive through clinging. It arrives the moment you let go. Imagine grasping water in your fist. The harder you squeeze, the quicker it escapes through your fingers. Now imagine opening your palm. The water settles effortlessly, resting in your hand. Desire works the same way. When you grip it in fear, it slips away. When you release, when you allow space, it flows to you with ease. This is the quantum shortcut few people ever see. Letting go doesn't mean apathy. It doesn't mean giving up. It means releasing the frequency of need, desperation, and control. Those energies broadcast lack. The field mirrors them faithfully, sending back more, waiting more absence, more struggle. When you let go, your frequency shifts to trust, sufficiency, openness. The quantum field mirrors that as well, delivering synchronicities, opportunities, and outcomes that feel sudden, even miraculous. Think of a kite. You don't fly it by gripping the string rigidly and holding it close. You let the wind carry it. You guide gently, allowing space for it to rise. Manifestation works the same way. Life is the wind. Your desire is the kite. Letting go allows the field to lift it higher than you ever could through sheer force. The paradox here is what confuses most seekers. You've been conditioned to believe success requires control, constant effort, relentless focus. Yet the quantum field doesn't operate through force, it operates through frequency. Holding too tightly distorts your signal. Releasing restores coherence. The moment you let go, you stop broadcasting resistance. You start broadcasting trust. That's when timelines collapse, outcomes align, doors open without effort. Reflect for a moment. Think back on times when something you wanted arrived unexpectedly after you stopped obsessing, after you surrendered, after you simply lived your life. Perhaps you let go of the need to meet someone, and love appeared. Perhaps you released pressure on a project, and suddenly everything fell into place. Perhaps you gave up chasing an opportunity, and it circled back to you effortlessly. These weren't accidents. They were proof of the shortcut. Letting go is the act of stepping out of ego's illusion. Ego says, I must hold, I must control, I must force. Essence whispers, I already am, I already trust, I already receive. When you shift into essence, you remember that creation isn't about constructing from scratch. It's about aligning with what already exists in potential. The shortcut is realignment, not obsession. Pause and notice what you're clinging to right now. What desire feels heavy because you've been gripping it too hard? Feel the tension in your body as you think of it, the tightness in your chest, the knot in your stomach, the restless thoughts. Now imagine loosening that grip. Imagine opening your hand. Imagine saying, I trust this to unfold in perfect time. Feel the release. That release is the beginning of resonance. This is why letting go is the quantum shortcut nobody talks about. It flips everything you've been taught. Instead of holding tighter, you learn to release. Instead of broadcasting lack, you embody trust. Instead of demanding the universe prove itself, you allow it to mirror your state. The leap feels effortless, not because the field suddenly changed, but because you finally stopped blocking it with your grip. Letting go is not weakness. It is the most powerful act you can take. It is the choice to align with the rhythm of the universe rather than fight against it. Once you see this manifestation, it stops feeling like a battle. It starts feeling like flow. The shortcut has always been here, hidden in plain sight, waiting for you to open your hand. Letting go is not just a mental trick, it is a vibrational shift. When you release your grip on outcomes, your energy rises instantly. You may not notice the shift at first, but the field does. The quantum field is exquisitely sensitive to frequency. It listens not to your words, not even to your surface thoughts, but to the vibration beneath them. That vibration is what collapses potential into form. Clinging keeps you vibrating in scarcity. The hidden message beneath attachment is, I don't have this yet, and I might lose it if I don't hold on tightly enough. That is the frequency of lack. No matter how many affirmations you repeat, the field mirrors that vibration. It reflects delay, resistance, absence. Release, however, carries a completely different frequency. The energy of letting go hums with trust, sufficiency, openness. It signals, I already am whole, I already trust the timing, I already belong to this reality. That frequency is coherent, and coherence collapses possibilities into form with astonishing speed. Imagine music. When you play a note out of tune, the whole song feels tense. Your body tightens, your ears strain. When the instrument aligns perfectly, the music flows effortlessly, filling the space with ease. That's what letting go does. It tunes your vibration back to harmony. Suddenly, life sounds clear again, and the field can mirror that resonance. This is why surrender has always been at the heart of spiritual teachings. Quantum physics simply provides the mechanics. When you stop broadcasting the static of desperation, the clean frequency of trust emerges. The field receives the signal without distortion, and manifestation flows like music in tune. Think of your body as an antenna. When you grip tightly, the antenna shakes, sending out static. The signal reaches the field scattered and weak. When you relax, the antenna steadies, transmitting a strong, clean wave. That single shift changes everything. The shortcut is not more effort, it is steadier resonance. You can feel this in your own experience. Remember a time when you finally stopped obsessing over an outcome. Maybe you surrendered a relationship, a job search, or a financial worry. Instead of clinging, you breathed out and said, I release it. What happened next? Often something unexpected unfolded. An opportunity arrived, a person called, a solution revealed itself. That wasn't coincidence. It was frequency alignment. The field mirrored your release instantly. The reason this works is simple. The quantum field contains infinite possibilities. They exist all at once like stations on a radio dial. Your frequency decides which one collapses into your reality. The frequency of clinging tunes you to absence. The frequency of release tunes you to presence. Letting go is not about abandoning your desire. It is about choosing the station where your desire already exists. Pause here. Bring to mind one desire that feels heavy. Feel the contraction it creates in your body. Now inhale deeply, hold for a moment, and exhale slowly. As you breathe out, whisper, I let it go. Notice the difference in your energy, lighter, softer, more open. That simple act shifts your vibration higher. The field begins responding in that very moment. This is the secret few understand. Letting go is not passive. It is active alignment. It is frequency refinement. It is the most direct action you can take in the quantum realm. Effort without letting go is friction. Release with alignment is flow. The quantum field doesn't delay. Once the frequency is clear, it mirrors immediately. So understand this: surrender is not weakness. It is the highest form of trust. It signals to the universe that you are already aligned, already enough, already coherent. That vibration collapses potential into form without struggle. This is why letting go is the true shortcut. It lifts you instantly into the frequency where what you desire already exists. Trust has always been the hidden ingredient in manifestation. Yet most people treat it like an afterthought. They visualize, they affirm, they push. But underneath it all, doubt hums like static. Doubt lowers frequency. Fear creates friction. Control broadcasts resistance. This is where the alchemy of trust enters. Trust is not blind faith. It is the conscious act of transmuting fear into fuel-shifting uncertainty into the very vibration that magnetizes outcomes. Picture a flame in the darkness. Fear feels like shadow, creeping toward the edges of your mind, whispering, what if it doesn't work? What if I fail? What if I lose? Trust is the fire you light, not to banish the dark, but to reveal what was always there. You don't need to eliminate fear entirely. You need only to hold it in the flame of awareness until it transforms into something else. This is alchemy, the ancient principle that nothing is wasted. Just as lead can be transmuted into gold, dense emotions can be refined into states that elevate you. Fear becomes intuition once it is heard. Doubt becomes clarity once it is examined. Uncertainty becomes expansion once it is embraced. Trust is the crucible where this transformation happens. Think back to a moment in your life when everything felt uncertain. Perhaps you stood at the edge of a decision with no clear guarantee of success. In that moment, you had a choice: contract in fear or expand in trust. If you chose trust, something opened. The path revealed itself step by step. Opportunities aligned not because you forced them, but because your vibration shifted from resistance to openness. That shift was alchemy in motion. Trust is not about ignoring reality. It is about perceiving reality through a higher lens. Instead of saying, "This isn't working," you begin to say, "This is unfolding in ways I can't yet see." Instead of broadcasting, "I don't have it, yet you radiate. It's already connected to me." That subtle change in perception alters the frequency you send to the field. The quantum realm doesn't care about your words. It cares about your resonance. Imagine holding a bow and arrow. Fear is the tension you feel when you think you might miss. Trust is the steady breath that steadies your hand. Without trust, the arrow wavers. With trust, the shot flies true. The field works the same way. Manifestation doesn't respond to frantic grasping. It responds to steady alignment. Trust steadies you. So how do you cultivate this trust practically? Begin with awareness. The next time fear arises, instead of fighting, it asks, what truth are you hiding? What guidance do you carry? Listen, then reframe. If doubt whispers, "It might not work," you respond, "Then it might succeed." If fear says, "You're not ready," you answer, "Every step prepares me." By reframing, you transform density into gold. Add embodiment. Place your hand on your heart, breathe slowly, and say aloud, "I trust life. I trust myself. I trust the field." Speak it until your body softens. Feel the vibration shift. That physiological release signals the field more strongly than words alone. Finally, practice small leaps. Trust grows through experience. Start with something simple. Release control in a conversation. Trust an intuitive nudge, act on a subtle pull. Notice how life responds. Each confirmation builds evidence. Each leap strengthens the alchemical fire. Soon, trust becomes your natural frequency, and fear loses its grip. This is the alchemy of trust, taking the lead of uncertainty and refining it into the gold of alignment. You don't need to eliminate fear. You need to let it pass through the crucible until it becomes clarity. Once you do, the field mirrors your trust collapsing outcomes faster than effort ever could. That's why letting go isn't passive, it is alchemy in motion. Trust transmutes trust, elevates trust, manifests. Ego whispers constantly, "Hold on tighter, don't let go. If you stop controlling, everything will fall apart." This voice feels protective, yet it is rooted in illusion. Ego is not your enemy, but it thrives on gripping. It insists that safety comes from effort, that worth comes from proving that outcomes can only be secured through force. This is the illusion that keeps manifestation heavy. The shortcut opens only when you loosen ego's grip and return to essence. Imagine clutching a rope until your knuckles turn white. At first, the grip feels secure, but soon your muscles ache, your body shakes, your strength fades. The tighter you hold, the weaker you become. Ego does this with your desires. It holds them so tightly that the very act of gripping drains your energy. Essence, however, doesn't need to grip. It rests open-handed, allowing life to flow naturally into place. Why does ego resist letting go? Because its identity depends on control. Ego needs problems to solve, obstacles to conquer, battles to win. Without them, it feels irrelevant. Yet manifestation is not a battle. It is resonance. When ego tries to control outcomes, it distorts your frequency. The field mirrors that distortion back as struggle, delay, resistance. Essence vibrates differently. Essence says, I don't need to prove my worth, I am already whole. I don't need to control the future, it is already aligned. I don't need to grip the outcome, it is already connected to me. This vibration radiates coherence. The field hears it clearly and responds with effortless alignment. Think of sunlight shining through clouds. Ego is the cloud cover, dense and heavy, casting shadow across your perception. The sun never stopped shining, but the clouds convinced you otherwise. When you release control, the clouds part, the light floods through. That light is your essence, the part of you that doesn't need to strive. You felt this before. Remember a moment when you laughed so deeply you forgot your worries, or when awe silenced your mind under a starlit sky, or when love expanded through you, dissolving all thought of control. In those moments, ego loosened, essence led, life felt effortless, synchronicities aligned. That wasn't random, that was frequency clarity. So how do you loosen ego's grip? Start with observation. Notice the voice that says, if I don't hold on, I'll lose everything. Recognize it for what it is, a protective pattern, not truth. Then pause. Place a hand on your chest and ask softly, what would essence choose right now? The answer is never frantic. It is steady, open, spacious. Choose that. Next, practice release physically. When you feel tension, unclench your fists. Relax your shoulders. Breathe slowly. These simple acts signal to the body, I am safe without control. Ego quiets. Essence rises. The field registers the shift immediately. Finally, embrace surrender as strength. Remind yourself the field doesn't respond to how tightly I grip. It responds to how clearly I vibrate. Each time you release control, you signal clarity. Each time you soften, you broadcast coherence. The shortcut is activated through release, not force. Ego will resist. It will whisper louder, you can't let go. You'll fail. You'll lose everything. Yet each time you notice and return to essence, the illusion weakens. Over time, the grip fades. You begin to live not as the voice of control, but as the awareness beyond it. That awareness is essence. That awareness is what manifests. Understand this: letting go doesn't mean abandoning responsibility. It means shifting from ego's illusion of control to essence's truth of alignment. The rope was never holding you safe, you were holding it. The moment you release, you realize the ground has been beneath you all along. The shortcut opens not through gripping harder, but through loosening, softening, trusting. The field mirrors essence, never ego. That is why the illusion must be broken if manifestation is to feel effortless. You are not a lone fragment floating through space cut off from what you desire. You are woven into a vast network of connection, what physics calls entanglement, what mystics call oneness. This web is alive, responsive, immediate. The moment you release control, the strands begin to hum with coherence. This is why letting go is not just surrender, it is activation. Entanglement responds most powerfully when you are open. Picture two tuning forks. Strike one, and the other sings the same note without being touched. That resonance happens instantly, not after days of effort. Your desires work the same way. They are already vibrating on the web connected to you by invisible strands. When you try to force outcomes, you shake the fork unevenly, sending distorted signals. Nothing resonates clearly. The moment you release, the vibration steadies, and entanglement carries your signal across the field without delay. Think of how often life has mirrored this truth. You think of someone and they call moments later. You stop chasing a job and the opportunity lands in your inbox. You surrender a relationship and the right connection appears effortlessly. These moments are not accidents. They are entanglement at work, showing you what becomes possible when you stop forcing and start allowing. Control disrupts resonance. It sends mixed messages into the field. I want this, but I don't trust it. I ask for it, yet I doubt it. I claim it, yet I cling to it as though it might vanish. The web reflects confusion. Timelines scatter, opportunities stall. When you let go, you broadcast one clear message: I trust, I allow. I already belong to this outcome. That coherence stabilizes the web. The mirror responds instantly. Imagine yourself as a spider at the center of a glowing web. Every movement ripples outward. When you thrash and pull, the strands tangle. When you move with ease, the whole web vibrates cleanly and the signals return in harmony. Letting go is the act of moving lightly across the web, clear, steady, open. That is the state that activates entanglement fully. So how can you step into this openness? First, notice when you're forcing. Feel the tension in your body, the restless thoughts, the sense of lack. That is distortion. Then pause and breathe. Say quietly, I release the need to control. Feel your body soften. That softness is resonance returning. Second, shift into gratitude. Gratitude is one of the cleanest frequencies you can send. When you say thank you for what is already here, the web responds by amplifying more. Gratitude tells the field you trust the connection. The strands glow brighter. Third, practice receiving. Many cling not because they want too much, but because they fear not being able to hold what arrives. Letting go requires readiness to receive. Each day, accept small gifts. The compliment, the free coffee, the unexpected kindness. Say yes. Each yes strengthens your capacity to receive larger manifestations when they arrive. The beauty of entanglement is its immediacy. You don't need to wait years for outcomes to drift toward you. The strands are already tied. The shortcut is clearing the static so resonance flows freely. Letting go clears the static. It steadies your vibration. It allows the web to mirror you without interference. Pause here. Bring to mind one desire you've been gripping. Imagine it far away, disconnected, unreachable. Notice the heaviness. Now shift. Imagine it already tethered to you by a shining strand. Feel how close it really is. Whisper, I allow you to arrive. Notice the openness that fills your body. That openness is the frequency the field cannot ignore. Understand this entanglement is not fragile. It does not depend on your effort. It only waits for coherence. The moment you let go, the strands light up, the mirror responds, the desire hums alive. That is why surrender is not loss, it is the gateway. The web was always connected. You only had to stop pulling against it. Beneath the surface of your conscious mind lies a reservoir of codes, beliefs, patterns, imprints written long before you chose them. These subconscious scripts decide how much you allow, how easily you receive, how deeply you trust. They hum like hidden frequencies broadcasting into the quantum field without your awareness. Letting go at its core is not just a conscious choice. It is the act of releasing those hidden codes that cling to fear, scarcity, and control. Think of the subconscious as the soil in which your desires try to grow. If the soil is tangled with roots of doubt, no matter how much you water the seed, with affirmations the sprout struggles. Yet if you clear the soil, the seed bursts into life seemingly overnight. That is why some shifts feel instant. The seed was always ready, the soil finally released its grip. What keeps these subconscious codes locked in place? Old protection. Perhaps as a child, you learned that asking too much was dangerous, so your subconscious clings to lack. Perhaps you were taught love comes only with effort, so your subconscious grips relationships tightly. Perhaps you were told safety requires control, so your subconscious resists surrender. These codes are not malicious. They were survival mechanisms. Yet now, they are distortions preventing alignment. Letting go at this level means speaking to the subconscious in its own language. It doesn't respond to logic. It responds to feeling, repetition, safety. You cannot argue with it, you must rewire it. Begin by noticing the loops in your life. Do you attract money only to lose it? Do you fall into the same type of relationship? Do opportunities collapse just as they open? These aren't random. They're programs running beneath the surface. Awareness alone is powerful. Write the loop on paper. Naming it reduces its hold. Then create safety. Place a hand on your body. Breathe deeply. Whisper, I am safe to release this pattern now. Your subconscious listens. Safety tells it no longer needs to grip the old code. Next pair, release with emotion. The subconscious speaks through feeling. Visualize the pattern dissolving not with tension, but with relief. Feel the freedom. Imagine a heavy stone lifted from your chest. Let your body experience the openness. That sensation plants a new signal. Anchor the shift through rhythm. Each morning upon waking, repeat, I let go of what no longer serves me. I allow what is aligned. Feel the words, don't just think them. The subconscious is porous in those first minutes. Let the frequency slip in. Each night before sleep, whisper gratitude for what you've already received. Gratitude tells the subconscious abundance is safe. The soil grows fertile. Micro-actions strengthen the release. If you're rewriting scarcity, give something away no matter how small. If you're releasing control, delegate one task or leave space in your schedule. If you're releasing fear of love, allow a moment of genuine connection. These actions tell the subconscious the new code is real. Each repetition is a vote for freedom. You'll know the release is working when resistance softens. Where there was tension, there is calm. Where there was panic, there is trust. Where there was sabotage, there is flow. Then, without warning, life mirrors it. The job sticks, the relationship deepens, the abundance remains. It looks like a miracle from the outside. In truth, it was the subconscious letting go, shifting its hum into coherence. Pause now. Think of one hidden belief you've carried, something that has kept you gripping tight. Whisper gently, I release you. I thank you. I am free now. Feel your body's response. That softness is the beginning of the new code. Understand this, your subconscious is not your enemy. It is simply repeating old instructions. Letting go is giving it new ones. Once the subconscious loosens its grip, the field has no barrier. Resonance flows clearly. The shortcut activates. Manifestation feels effortless not because the universe changed, but because you stopped transmitting static from the shadows. This is why letting go is the deepest form of rewiring. It clears the soil, dissolves the old codes, and allows abundance to grow unblocked. The field responds instantly once your hidden architect releases its grip. That is the unseen power of subconscious release. The shortcut no one talks about yet. The one that changes everything. Now the strands weave together the paradox of release. The frequency of surrender, the alchemy of trust, the loosening of ego, the harmony of entanglement, the subconscious codes dissolving. Every path has pointed here. Letting go is not a loss. It is the quantum shortcut, the doorway into effortless manifestation. Think of it like this. The quantum field is already humming with infinite realities. Every possible version of your life is alive right now, vibrating on its own frequency. The moment you grip tightly, you tune into absence. The moment you let go, you tune into alignment. The leap feels sudden only because you finally stopped resisting what was always waiting. This is the distilled principle. Manifestation is not about controlling outcomes. It is about becoming the state that no longer needs to control. So how do you live this daily? Carry these practices as anchors. 1. Breathe and release tension, 3 deep exhales each morning to signal openness. 2. Name the grip notice where you cling, write it down and whisper, I release you. 3. Shift through gratitude, thank the present moment before asking for more. 4. Practice small surrenders, delegate trust timing, allow life to surprise you. 5. Choose one word daily, a frequency word like trust, ease, abundance. Carry it all day. Do this not as a ritual of effort, but as a rhythm of alignment. The more you live these steps, the more the field responds with clarity. Synchronicities multiply. Timelines collapse. Manifestations arrive not through force but through resonance. Imagine tomorrow you wake lighter, your grip gone. You trust the timing. You feel the openness of allowing. Conversations unfold easily. Opportunities appear without strain. You look back and realize the only thing that shifted was your willingness to release. That shift alone collapsed the gap. So here is the invitation. In the comments, write one word that reflects what you are ready to release or the frequency you choose to embody. It might be control, fear, scarcity, or it might be trust, freedom, openness. That word is your quantum seed, your declaration to the field. If this message stirred something inside you, I warmly invite you to subscribe. Not as another channel to follow, but as a gathering space where people like you reclaim their essence, align with the field, and live from coherence. Each subscription is more than a click, it is a choice to join a movement of conscious creators. Remember this, you were never meant to hold everything so tightly. Life was always designed to flow. Letting go is not defeat. It is the highest act of trust, the most direct alignment, the hidden shortcut. Once you live, this truth manifestation stops feeling impossible. It becomes natural, inevitable, effortless. So as you move forward, carry this echo in your chest. The universe responds not to your grip, but to your release. Open your hand, steady your vibration, and let life place in your palm what was always yours. That is the quantum shortcut. That is why letting go changes everything.